This is another podcast episode brought to you. My name is Oliver. Most people call me the coach. We're going to be talking about Talk Your Truth Thursday. Now, let me be honest with you. This is going to be a little dicey because it has a lot of isms to it. It has a lot of philosophy, and some of you may apply, some of you may like, and some of you may not like. But with me today, I got my girl, Sonya Rosser. Say hello.
Hello, you guys.
Now, who did they call you out in the real estate world?
They call me Rise and Grind.
Rise and grind.
Rise
She has
and
this philosophy that she believes every day you should get up, you should rise, and you should grind towards whatever goal you're trying to do. So I'm going to be kind of like interviewing you today, and it's going to get kind of dicey. You know that, right?
Okay.
So I want you to know there's no off limits.
I'm prepared.
All right, cool. So we'll start off. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, my name is Sonya Rosser, and I am a realtor with the best brokerage in America. And also, I've been doing this for 20 years. I am on the fabulous John Baker team, the most fabulous team on the west side of Georgia.
You're going to recognize that her energy is infectious. This is the reason why I want to bring her out of real estate just a little bit and talk about that ism, about life and the energy of life. I was sharing with you this morning that I was talking to a good friend of mine from Philadelphia. And when I was talking to my friend, we started talking about this thing called wealth and success. And when we was talking, I had to make mention that, you know what, I believe wealth and success is a mirage. I don't believe that people should be killing themselves, overextending themselves, and even running themselves to death chasing wealth and success. And the reason why I don't believe that is because it's like a mirage.
Right.
For example, I grew up on the mean streets of Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
And in Philadelphia and in most major cities, there's always that individual that have 3 cards. And we call it 3-card Molly. Some people might call it 3-card trick. So when I look at success, I look at a word that should be clearly defined by the individual that's subscribing to get there. When I look at wealth, I think of a thing that should be clearly defined. So I'll get more into that as we talk about it in this podcast versus just dropping. So what are some of the words or the things that you see when you go through life that you want to express positively or negatively? I know you're full of energy.
Okay, first and foremost, you have to be optimistic first. You got to believe that you can achieve, period. Okay. You also have to be consistent in what you're doing, and diligent and persistent. You have to have all those in place, and you have to get up, motivate yourself, and move forward. Believe that you can do it. That's the first thing, like I said. So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Oh, so we're going that way. We're going think and grow rich.
Absolutely.
Right. You know, go ahead.
You know, and Coach Oliver just mentioned, think and grow rich. Think and grow rich. It didn't say work and grow rich. The most powerful book that we read, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. You have to think it in your mind and in your heart.
Well, you know what? I love philosophy and I love isms. Mm-hmm. You know, after 23 years in the military, you know, I kind of figured some things out. I do believe in Think and Grow Rich. I believe it from an aspect that there's a frequency that a lot of folks never go past, right? And that frequency may be dedicated to the aspect of, okay, then the masses follow a certain routine.
Yes.
They follow a certain trend. So if the news says to do this or that, the masses do what the news say do. So, but at the end of the day, there's got to be a higher level of frequency. So I think this is where the think come in that.
Absolutely. You have to think it for yourself and not what everybody else thinks. Think it for yourself, because you can work all day long, but that doesn't mean you're going to be successful. So. Well,
I have to define success.
Okay.
So let me be clear, right? Success to me is that if you went to college and you say, you know what, I'm gonna get my 4-year degree, I'm gonna get my 2-year degree, and you've accomplished that, to me, you're successful. If you turn around and say, you know what, I'm apply for this job that I like, or I've been started as a real estate agent, and I'm going to sell 10 houses, I'm gonna sell 5 houses, and you accomplish that goal, I think success and goals should line up.
They should.
So the key to it is that people are defining success based upon other people's opinion. And this is where it confuses me. I believe that if you're going to set a goal, life is about age, time, and consistency, like you're saying.
Absolutely.
So you can't say, okay, I'm gonna be successful at 70 when you're only 30 years old. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. Yes, you are.
So how would you go about defining success?
Success to me is what you want to achieve for yourself, not what the masses do, not what the Kardashians do.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Keep talking.
I'm just being real because that's the way of life. Everybody is doing what everybody else is doing. Be an individual for your own success, and you will succeed if you want to succeed.
But what about the small successes? I think you should celebrate every time you set a goal and you accomplish it. If you go to the gym and say, you know what, I'm going to lose 3 pounds.
Right.
And this is how I'm going to lose my 3 pounds. When you get to those 3 pounds, people got cheat days.
Absolutely.
And on that cheat day, they go about saying, you know what, I'm going to eat that pizza. I'm going to eat that pastroni. I'm going to do something to celebrate my success. And I think what folks got wrong is that success should not be so far off that you can't never reach it.
Absolutely. And Coach, you know, they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. One bite at a time. The first bite is a success. Second bite is a success.
Nice. I like that.
Third bite is a success, and so forth. So just remember, take those small steps. Be consistent in what you are doing. Always remain consistent.
And let's talk about consistency when it comes to wealth. Remember, I was on this phone with my friend this morning, and I was telling my friend, I said, listen, all this hoopla about wealth, what is wealth? It's what you define it as. Now, he came from a financial perspective. When I purchased this many houses, when I got my stocks, and when I got 7 streams of income, I like, whoa, slow down.
Right.
Right? So I'm a little older than most people. I just look young.
Oh, yeah, that's true,
right?
Coach.
So what I learned in this aspect of wealth, I think it's a mirage. So here's what I define as wealth. Say, for example, you're healthy. You're not in and out of the hospital for this ailment or that ailment, and you're living life on your terms. We all going to get to the same destination.
Absolutely.
Now, some of the things in the middle might be a little bit overboard. And I remember, what's the guy, the Berkshire guy? What's his name? Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett says, listen, the only difference between a rich person and a pauper is this. He says, you get the same toilet paper. They may be using Charmin. I'm using Charmin or another brand, but we still all use that. We all use the same water. We all use the same air. He said that wealth changes when you get to the aspect of what flight. Are you going to be in coach or are you going to be in first class?
Right.
Are you going overseas and you're going Delta One, or if you got your private jet? So he's defining wealth like that, but everything else kind of lines up the same.
Lines up the same.
So for me, and then I'm going to throw it back to you, to me, wealth is the ability to live a life unapologetically whereby your kids, your downline, those individuals are okay, they're not in jail. Wealth is you're not getting sleep at night because of somebody in your family might be in a bad situation. These things are lining up properly. You're considered to be wealthy.
Absolutely.
How about your perception of it?
Yes, because I am 100% wealthy. I am.
Okay.
Because of my belief. And I believe that my happiness comes from within, and that's my wealth system. That is my wealth system. I am going to be prosperous, and I am going to be successful. And Coach might not see it the way that I see it, but I think our wealth is in our individual minds to be content in our own lives and not the lives of others.
But you know what? The Bible, that's the Bible for those who are Bible readers.
Yes.
It has this great quote, and it says, godliness with contention, with being content, is great gain. Which means that to me, if I'm reading that right, it says that, you know what? Be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for the blessings that you have.
Absolutely.
So it rains on the just and it rains on the unjust. So we got to separate ourselves from that. So some people drive a hoopty. Some people drive a Lamborghini. But the speed limit is the same.
Speed limit
Just because you can do 200 on the dash, the streets might not allow you to get out there to knock out 200 because traffic backs up. So if I'm riding in the car and I got air conditioner in my hoopty, and you got air conditioner in your Bugatti or something like that, which one is the wealthiest? I think we're both winning.
We're both winning. We are both winning, Coach. and as you went to that scripture, I'm going to go to this scripture.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm going to leave it right here. The only one who has the power to give you wealth is God. It's not man at all. It's God.
Ooh, I like that. So wealth is health.
Wealth is health.
And perspective.
Absolutely.
You know, I was talking to my friend this morning, and we defined 2 things. So we talked about poverty and ignorance. When I grew up in poverty. We didn't have a lot of stuff. But at the kitchen table, knowledge was in abundance. We talked about politics. We talked about relationships. We talked about stimulating our particular community. So we left out of poverty, and I graduated to, you know, a little different mindset. But at the end of the day, but when you put poverty and ignorance together, this is where you get ruckus. This is where you get all the other negative aspects to kind of show up. So don't never forget, just because you don't have what somebody else has does not mean you're not intelligent.
Absolutely. Absolutely correct, Coach.
So it's back to your Think and Grow Rich.
It's think and grow rich.
You know what?
You don't have to work yourself to death.
And guess what? If you're not enjoying yourself,
hey,
you know what? That's a horrible feeling to get up and hate life. You want to get up and, you know what? Today is the day. You're not promised tomorrow.
We're not promised.
So when you get up today, you make this day the best day you can, because you don't know what tomorrow holds.
Absolutely.
I know you know people that woke up today but did not wake up the next day.
Absolutely.
And we mourn over these folks.
Absolutely.
We go to their funeral. We might say stuff like, you know what, that was a good person. That was a solid person. And then what do? We keep moving.
We keep moving.
So what do you believe, in closing, a tip or two that you can give to the masses to help them to keep moving?
Okay, guys, what would your legacy be? If you were not here at this time tomorrow, what would you want people to remember you by? What legacy will you leave?
That's nice. And I'm gonna leave it right there. It must not, you know, if you don't wake up tomorrow, how do they remember you, right?
How do they remember
And you know, the
you?
key to it is we all got loved ones. We got folks that hate us. We got folks that love us. But at the end of the day, when the time is up, the time is up. And guess what? We talked about success. We talked about wealth. We talked about Think and Grow Rich. And the reality of it is you can't take none of it with you when time's up. So enjoy your life. Make it the best day you could possibly be. And you know that statement you always talk about every morning? Can you close us off with that little chant that you do every morning when you post? Rise.
Rise and grind. It's real estate time. Let's get it. And we also gonna do what? Make it do what it do.
There it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach.